I want to just start with a little personal story. Like all of you, we have been traumatized over the last 5 months. And I had the opportunity, it's now a few weeks ago, to travel down south with the Conference of Presidents and to see some of the kibbutzim and also to go to the area where the Nova Festival was held. It took me a few days to be able to talk. It was a very traumatizing experience, and hopefully there'll be an opportunity that I can maybe share with you some of those experiences that we had there. I also had an opportunity to meet Aviva Siegel, who is the hostage, the South African hostage who was taken into Gaza. She, thank God, has been returned. Her husband is still in Gaza, and we pray for his safe return. But Aviva told the stories of the sexual violence that our hostages till this day are still experiencing. And some of the other people that we met with, some of the other survivors that we met with there, and witnesses shared some of the horrific sexual violence that they witnessed on that horrific day. And I came back to South Africa absolutely determined and committed to make sure that the people in this country, and many of them even in our community, who didn't understand that the atrocities that happened on that day, the level of the cruelty and the level of the brutality that they experienced, and that continues to today. With our hostages that are still in Gaza. And I mean, for me, that is just something that is so unbelievably chilling. But every time I go to sleep at night and I think of what these women might still be experiencing. And I knew that we had to bring to South Africa and to share the stories in this country, because history is being already rewritten. There is already denialism. The Gaza war began on the 8th of October, and we cannot let that happen. We cannot. We have to challenge that narrative. We started that a few weeks ago on international, it's probably 2 weeks ago now, and I think I recognize quite a few of the women who are here joined us, and we had a women's march to Constitution Hill on International Women's Day. We wanted to highlight and create awareness of what happened on 7th of October and what is still happening today to our hostages. And it was one of the most empowering, incredible marches that I have participated in. And we had with us a woman who is assisting some of the survivors with an NGO dealing with the sexual violence that they experienced. And 2 young women who have been through one of the worst traumas that we can even imagine. They stood up and they said, "We will come. We will put aside the horrific experiences and what we have been going through and are still going through, and we will come to South Africa because we know how important it is, A, to share our experiences, and secondly, and very, very importantly, we want to come to South Africa because we want to support this community." How amazing is that? They came here. They came here to support us. And I can't ever thank you enough. It's your bravery and your courage. Milette is not here yet, so I'm hoping that we'll be able to share what I have said, but we can never thank you enough for being with us. Okay, so I'm going to just introduce Professor Karen Milner, who is our chairperson. She is going to facilitate the discussion, and Mazal, I think you'll introduce Mazal, and we are going to, hopefully Milette will arrive any minute. Okay, she's just at ENCA.
Okay. Perfect. Well, good evening, everybody. It's such a pleasure, firstly, for me to see so many people who've come out tonight to join us, to bear witness, and to hear this remarkable testimony. In the years that I've been at the South African Jewish Board of Deputies, thankfully, I've met some remarkable people, including kings, presidents, and the Pope. But I have never felt so proud to be on a stage as I am now. I was really privileged yesterday at Wits University to hear Mazal speak. And her story is quite a remarkable story, and I'm going to give her the time now. I know that's what you're all waiting for her to tell it. The courage and the bravery that she has shown in telling the story, and you'll hear how difficult it is, again and again and again, is quite remarkable. So without further ado, I'm going to move over to you and just ask you to tell us your story. Thank you.
Hey everyone. Every time I need to start to talk about it, it's like I went to the party with two of my friends, with Daniel Cohen and Yochai Ben Zcharia. We get in the night, Friday night, and the night was amazing. We buy tickets 3 months before, so we waiting so much. In the morning, when all the rockets started, when we were in the tent, and like the music stopped, told us to lay down and cover our head to protect. And like I was not scared too much because I live in Netivot, if you know, it's near to Sderot, so I know rockets, I know all these things. Terrorist is not on the mind, so we only like a little said about the party is over and just it. We decided to go to my home because I live in like 50 minutes. My friends from Netanya, near to Tel Aviv. And we go out to the car and we start to go from the area to the party to the main road, the famous road, the Hell Road, Death Road. We stuck like two cars separate me and the road, like was traffic jam, very big, and we wait like half hour and it don't move, and we start to hear gunshots. You don't get it, but you hear gunshots. I passed to the car of my friend because I have my car and my friend was with her car and Yochai was with her. And we tried to pass the traffic jam and we tried to pass the traffic jam through the land, but were pits very big, very deep, so we stuck again, and the shooting like gonna be more close. I don't believe what's happening. I like on repeat say to me, it's not happening, it's not happening. God, what's happening? Make it stop like this. It's not real. Some point, Yochai get it that all the cars, that's abandoned car because the traffic don't move. And we figured out that we need to run and to the road. This is how we think that there are policemen or soldiers in this area. So we run to the road, the main road. but the terrorists come to the side too, so we got shot and we run like back and forth like this under the car and crawling, like you don't run regularly, you run like this. And I saw Yochai crawling. He said, "You need to crawl." He was in the IDF. He was a soldier, like he know the everything. I was like with him, like I'm an illusion. God, please make it stop like this. And when they start to surround us, we get inside to the bushes in the side of the main road. And we run there. I saw people like with the gunshots hurt and just sit in the bushes. We run there still until we decide to land and cover ourselves and hide. Because you hear the Arabic too, like you know that it's really close. And the gunshot not stop. This is like, I don't know how to explain how many in all the direction. Daniel and Yochai land on the bag and start to cover ourselves with plants. I do the same thing, but I feel not safe like this, so I turn around and I put my hand like this, turn around too. I don't know, I do like automatically like this and like this with my hand. And a few seconds they come. He said in English, get up, get up, get up, you. And I get the cut of the weapon to my head. My hand is saved my life. So I felt like my head come and fall. A few seconds, like I don't hear, I don't see anything, like my brain in the space like this. And when I came back, I feel someone straight my legs and put ropes on my leg to tie me or something. In this moment, I don't get it what they do. After he do it, they start to talk about it. I only knew that I need to play that, and this is what I do. And they start talk with each other in Arabic. And one of them come close to me. In this moment, I know that I need to hold my breath. This is what I'm do. He come close to me, like pick up my face, look at me, I guess, and let go. And they go. And like the ropes, I feel untied for my legs, like go for my legs, and I don't feel a relief to something because I feel like I going to die. I think that they go because they kill me and now I'm dying like this. And I talk with God and I told them like, this is how I finish my life. Like seriously, I have so much things that I want to do, like so much dream. I don't start yet. So like this, I talked with them and I lose my conscience. Because I feel like I'm going to lose my conscience, but I think that I'm going to die. But I wake up after 2 hours. The first thing that I do is call my name friend. I call her Danielle, and she don't answer. I get up my head and I saw her dead. I look the right side and I saw Yochai also dead. I came back with my head in the same position. I don't know what to see. I don't get it what I see, but what I know for sure that they dead. So I recognize it in the second I saw the both. And when I came back to land, I like waiting. God send, I don't know, someone to rescue me. This is my safe place, and I wait here. And then, I don't know, a few minutes, I feel someone, some person, like land on my legs, like this, and start to look at me, look up something on me, on my body. I have a purse, and and I hold my breath. I don't know how time, I don't breathe in this time, like I was, for sure there's this terrorist, but he came back to land and don't move some, I don't know how much time. So, and it was not heavy, so I feel like it's not a terrorist, it's someone who's hiding. So I get up my head and I saw a 22 years old a girl who was in the party also. She lost all her friends, 4 friends. She can survive, but all the friends die. Um, she looked up, telephone on me. She was for sure that I'm dead. She saw how they kill Yochai. This is how I know that. I think that, I don't know, 3, 4 terrorists. She saw me. She told me that there were 10 terrorists with the gunshots, with this like Hamas in the. So I don't know how I'm here, but. She started to text message for everyone from my phone. My phone was here, so we didn't get up. She saw him and take him and take message for everyone. And this time we talk with people that come to rescue us. I hear weird noses, so I don't recognize. So I turn around and I saw they start a fire. I turned around back and I told her they started a fire, what we're gonna do, and again, God sent someone to rescue me. I stay here, I wait here, someone will come. And I wait, nobody come, and the fire come closer and closer. And the second, the fire come on the sides too, and they were very hot. I been really scared. I told her that I ran to the road. I saw car. All the road was embedded car. And was terrorists, like the gunshots, not over, yeah? We hear like non-stop. לא, אני אמשיך. כן, יש לי...
Do you want to?
She'll drink water for a sec, but I'll fill you in and she will continue. Hi, my name is Milette. So what happened now is because they murdered pretty much everyone there, but they knew that there are still people hiding, so they set the fire so that everybody who is still alive somehow will run towards the main road and they can shoot everybody. So at first she waited for a while, but as the fire kept getting closer and closer and it was really hot, she decided that even though she knows she's gonna run towards terrorists, she'd rather to get hit by a bullet than to be burned alive. So there is a lot of ditched cars on that road, and her plan is to try to get into one of those cars.
So this is what I do. I said, I don't know, God with me, like this. I run like crazy. I get inside in the car. It was open, lucky. And I was in the back, the back seat, on the floor like I do me, like tiny, I can do. It was blanky, I cover myself, I talk in the telephone, like with people said, like, come to rescue me, but what's happened? In 12 like this, I was there. In 9.5, they killed them. In 12, I ran from the fire. I was there some hours. when I heard like the bullets coming close, and you think every second is now like this. But in 3 afternoon, some angel is called Itai opened the car and get up my head, and I saw him with the girl who was with me in the bushes. She don't go out because she think about what the terrorist going to do with her. She going to rape me like this, but I don't do with this. I was with the heat, like I know like bullets and fire like this. And we start to look, he look a car, he find, and with the telephone we talk with the IDF, and they told us how to drive until we go to a safe place. And that's it. From then, took me to the hospital. I do surgery in my fingers. You don't get up. It's like this. And I do another one for do it right. In my head also hurt. But I'm here. I came back. But my friend no. So now all what I do is this not happen again, and the people that keep suffering, that come back our home, and that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I'm late, but we tried to get me on the news, and we did. So, yay. It's a crazy story. I don't know how I can even talk to you after that, but I'll try. So, my name is Milette, and I came to the music festival around 2 a.m. the night before. And, well, I haven't heard the beginning of Mazal's story, but I will say that I'm sure she told that the party was amazing, but I will say that the trance music community is a very special community. You see the same faces over and over in different parties, and it's the most beautiful souls. We're all there to celebrate life, and nobody cares about who you are, what religions you practice, what is your ethnicity, race. You just come to be yourself and to have fun, to celebrate life. And the party was really amazing. And we saw the sunrise. And at 6:30, the music stopped. And I asked the DJ what's going on. I thought maybe the electricity went off, but he told me to turn around, and so I did. And when I did, I saw this massive barrage of rockets. Now, being Israeli, we're used to it, so you know what you need to do. You need to lay down on the ground and cover your head with your hands, wait for 10 minutes, and then you can go to a safer place. We don't have any shelters because the party is out in the nature. But it got worse and worse, and so after something like 15 minutes, we decided we have to escape. That party had 3,500 people attending, so for all of us to escape at the same time is pretty much impossible. It's amazing to me until now when I look back that it was a very hard circumstances, but we still functioned as a community. So we're not cutting lines, we're still trying to be thoughtful. I convinced one of my friends, I call him my friend because now he's my friend, but I met him that night to give me his car keys. And he did. We got as many people as possible in the car. and I'm trying to improvise a way through the side. It's a very bumpy road, but I got us to the main road, and I'm making a right turn, and I'm driving for a minute, but then I have to stop because the terrorists waited there and they're shooting all the cars. So I'm making a very quick U-turn, and I'm trying to escape to the other direction. But after 2 minutes, I have to stop again. What happened was that the terrorists, they knew that this is our only way out. So they're waiting on both sides of that road, and they're closing on to us. At that point, I don't see the terrorists on that side. I have several cars in between me and them, but I can hear the shooting keeps getting closer and closer, and we know we don't have anywhere to go. So we decide we're gonna ditch the cars and run towards the field. And the plan was that we thought, okay, we just saw the sunrise, so if we will follow the sun, that would be the opposite side of Gaza. So this is what we're trying to do. But it's not really doable because I'm sure you saw videos of that specific field when you can see all the people from the party running, so that is the scenario. But everywhere you go to, you see other people screaming that they're being shot at, and you need to run to the other direction. And pretty fast, you find yourself in this sadistic game, just going back and forth in between terrorists. And then we saw a group of something like 10 soldiers. So we decided we'll run towards them. But as we do, we noticed that they're carrying RPGs. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's something in between a gun and a missile. It's a very large weapon. And when we saw that, we realized that these are terrorists, because you will never see an IDF soldier walking around with an RPG aiming them towards people. So now they're like 100 meters away, and we have to run to the other direction, but that also means to run towards bullets. And I'm starting to see people falling down. And I describe it as if you ever had one of those nightmares when you can't run fast and you can feel that someone's about to grab you. It feels like that. The other girls fell down pretty quickly, and the guys were faster than me, so I found myself the last person within seconds. And it feels like you're trying to prevent a heart attack from happening, because it's so scary, and your soul doesn't want to witness what you're witnessing. But I kept telling myself, okay, this is awful, and you're probably going to die any minute now, but you don't have control over that. So the only thing you can do is to keep running, even if it's a slow run, and try to find a place to hide. And if you're going to die, you're going to die. And this is what kept me going. I'm just determined to keep running. And I don't even remember this entire path of escaping, because it was a very traumatic moment. But I know now that I was actually running for 2 hours. The next thing that I remember clearly is that we were 10 people under this tree. We tried to hide there and to understand what to do. And this one guy says that we're moving targets. And I knew that, of course, but when he said it, I finally realized that we cannot escape them. Like, it's over. We're trapped, they're surrounding us, and that's that. But knowing that, I thought we cannot all stay together because they will find us easily. If we're 10 people, we're gonna draw attention. So I said, okay, we should all split. Good luck to everyone, just do whatever you think is right for you. And just like that, we all started running different directions. I told you I came with 4 friends. So the 2 guys, I didn't know what's going on with them. I know now that they ran for 4 hours until they got to a village and they took shelter there. and we know now that they're okay. But I was still with the two girls. I didn't see them before, but they were suddenly under that tree. So we did something in between crawling and running along this valley. I call it a valley, but it's more of a ditch with some plants. And we were looking for a place to hide until we found this bush that we thought that was good enough, and we crawled under that. And again, I call it a bush, but it's more like some twigs, and we're trying to cover ourselves with some herbs that we found on the floor. It's nothing on the ground. It's really, we are very much visible. And we're staying as silent as possible because they're surrounding us. You can hear the whistle of the bullets above you, so you know it's not like in the distant. And we're thinking whether or not we should call the police, because I want to get help, but then also if they will answer, I can't speak because they will hear me. But after a few minutes, it sounded like they're getting a bit further away, and I decided I will call the police. But it actually didn't matter because they didn't answer. They were receiving so many phone calls that day, so it was impossible for them to answer all the calls. I think only something like half an hour later, they answered me, and they said that they're sorry, but all the villages around are being taken over by terrorists, and so they can't help us. And they're saying, just hang in there, good luck, and they're hanging up the phone. Until that point, obviously all you want to do is to reach out to the people you love because you think you're going to die. But I didn't want to concern my family. I thought it would be better for them to hear the news after and not to suffer for so many hours not knowing what's going on with me. But at that point, I realized I have to reach out and I have to ask for help. So I explained a little bit about the situation and sent our location. And I was the only one that still had battery left on her phone, and I knew I have to save that battery. So even though I just wanted to talk to everyone that I know, I thought, okay, I need to find one sentence to send to my family as my last words, and that's it. So what I wrote was that I really love them and that I'm happy with the life I had, because I made my peace with dying that day, but it was really hard for me to think about what they're going to go through. And I thought maybe if they will know that at least I'm happy with what I have experienced so far, that would comfort them in a way. The shooting kept getting closer and closer. And at a certain point, it was something like 12 already. We hear them walking beside us. You can hear them talking and laughing. And for me, that was the worst part, because there is something so horrifying about meeting in person this kind of evilness, and to know that they can laugh at the same time. They found this Israeli guy that was hiding near us. We heard him screaming, they found me, help, and then just a lot of shooting. And then we can see two of them, and we're just holding our breath. We're trying not to move, not to make a sound. And for me, I just started to pray that a rocket will hit me. I told you how safe I feel in those parties, but that also meant that I was dressed up. I had this like crop top with tons of holes in it, because I know when I go to those events that I will never be harassed. Like, this is my community, and I can be as free as possible. But now it felt to me like I'm dressed up for them, and I knew that if they will see us, they will rape us. We had crazy miracle because they just didn't notice us. I still don't understand how, but they kept going. But it's very important for me to say, even though it's really hard to talk about it, that we have to raise awareness to the sexual violence that happened that day, and sadly that is still happening to our hostages, which is why we have to keep fighting. We have to get them home now. After something like 4 hours, I lost hope, but being here with you, it's important for me to share what kept me going, because I think more than anything, we're doing this, especially when we talk to our community, we're doing this to give us strength and to feel in a way uplifted, as weird as it is to say now. So what kept me going was my family. My younger brother, the youngest, I have a lot of siblings, but my youngest brother, he's 10 years younger than me, so he's more of a son to me. And he sent me a text. He said that he trusts me over 100%. And it was everything that I needed to remind myself of who I am and to know that I have to be the sister that my siblings deserve. I have to get back. And I knew I have 3 girls beside me that are much younger than me, and they were not in like good condition. So just to acknowledge the power of love and words, it's really important. So I get back on my phone and I'm trying now to post on Instagram the situation. I'm trying to reach out anyone I can. And it actually worked, because that led to a girl that I don't even know reaching out to me. She sent me the contact information of Rami Davidian. I don't know if you heard that name, but you should. He is a hero that voluntarily decided, he's just a civilian, 50-something years old, that decided to go in with his private car and rescue people. He didn't have a weapon or anything. And so I talked with him, and he is now trying to find us. But he couldn't find us for like 2 hours. And eventually I thought, okay, maybe the service was really bad, so maybe he doesn't have our location accurately. So I asked him to send us his location instead. And I'm trying to stick out my phone and to download a square of the map that will show his location and our location. And I managed to do that. And now I'm looking at the sun and at the hour, and I'm trying to give him direction, like go east, go south. And while I do that, I notice that I have 3% of battery left on my phone. It's already noon. And I told him, okay, I'm gonna try and save that battery. I'm gonna turn off my phone. Please don't give up on us. We're not gonna move. And he was incredible. He said he's gonna honk the horn of his car until he finds us. So that way, even if we don't have a phone, we will know that that's him. And the fact that he was willing to risk himself like that for us is remarkable. So we just lay down holding hands. And half an hour later, we heard a car. So I'm trying to turn on my phone again. I had 2% of battery left, luckily, and I'm calling him to see if that's him. And he said, I think that's him. We're trying to understand the situation. And I realized he will not find us like that. I need to crawl to get to the road beside us. And it's so scary because the shooting never stops. You don't want to move. But I knew that this is our best chance, and I have my siblings that I need to get back to. I have my friends beside me. So I'm starting to crawl outside, and I'm crawling for like 3 minutes. And then I saw a car, but the car went by really fast. And I thought that's not going to be him. He's going to drive slow, trying to find us. But in the last split of a second, I noticed a sticker that says something in Hebrew on that car. So I'm raising my body for like 2 seconds and going back down. And they noticed me, they came back. And in that car was Leon Bar, another hero that decided also to voluntarily go in with his own private car and rescue people. The second we got into his car, my phone died. he had a lot of people inside the car that he already rescued, so we're like sitting on top of each other, which is obviously dangerous because they were shooting around us. So he connected with Rami Davidian, the guy from before that was actually like a minute away, and they transferred us from one car to the other, and they took us all to Patish, a village nearby. We stayed there in a shelter for another few hours because we still had the rockets and the terrorists around. And we keep seeing more and more people from the party arriving. You see a lot of people that are injured, and it feels like you see a lot of ghosts. We're all shocked. We all witness different things. Some people just lost their friends. But at 7 p.m., we were finally receiving an escort from the IDF. They took us to Beersheba, a city nearby, and our families could come pick us up from there. So that's that. I want to say something about the people that rescue me. So Rami Davidian, he kept going for 3 days, going back and forth. And he ended up saving over 700 people. Yeah, clap for him, please. And Leon Bar, he kept going for 2 days, going back and forth until he was sadly murdered. It's very important for me to share their stories and to express the gratitude. I don't have the word to express the gratitude. I will not be here if it wasn't for them. But it's important for me that you will share their stories as well and honor Leon Bar's memory. And before I finish and allow you to ask questions, I want to say one last thing. I have a favorite quote that helps me to cope with everything that we're trying to cope now, and I hope it will give you some strength as well. It's in Hebrew, so this is a translation. It says that there will not be a victory of light over darkness until we recognize the simple truth that instead of fighting darkness, we should turn on the light. I know we witnessed great darkness that day and ever since, but we also witnessed a lot of light, and I'm so confident that love would win. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your stories with us. I've been watching the audience while you've been speaking, and there isn't a single person here who isn't so moved. And also, I think, inspired. As hard as it is to say that, by the fact of your courage of coming here and sharing it with us. So I want to thank you again for doing that. Before we open to questions, and I think maybe also to give the audience a second to kind of process. It's as hard as it was to listen to, I know it's harder to say. And so again, we thank you. So I'm also getting questions online, but we will take from the audience as well. So if people have questions, please go ahead and ask, and I'm just going to check the phone to see what questions I'm getting online. So I'm opening up for any questions. While people are waiting, we got a question in advance, which maybe I can ask here. And again, anything, I'm not sure what's appropriate and what isn't. So I'm just going to ask you, if you're not comfortable answering it, just
Everything
say so.
is appropriate.
Okay.
Feel free to ask whatever you want. And we can protect ourselves. If we will not feel comfortable, we will
I
say.
can tell.
It's all good.
Thank you. So
Right.
the one question that was asked was really, and I've heard it asked in other scenarios, about the security. And they have, I mean, did you feel that there was something that there had been something that could have been done around the security of the festival? Was there anything that you felt around the security of the festival that might have been done differently?
No. And I explained because they come like 3,000 how much security guys like we have. No.
Yeah, it's like, sorry, but we will investigate everything on a larger scale. But as for the people who performed at the actual event, whether it's the security guard, the police officer, and the soldiers in the area, they are true hero. They gave everything they can. We have nothing but such a deep gratitude towards them. It's when you're facing 3,000 terrorists at the same time, it's not, they outnumbered us. There's nothing you can do.
Thank you so much. I wanted to ask, how has your experience in South Africa been so far?
Wow. In the first day we have in the Cape Town University. So we get there like pro-Palestinians, like, not pro-Palestinians, like pro-Hamas. They have shirt with Hamas on the shirt, like this, and we try to talk, we try to explain, but they only yelling and don't want to listen, only do lying, and like the situation is very hard, really. We need to fight really hard because there are many people who really protect these crazy things, Hamas.
I think we have mixed feelings because yeah, she said about the bad. She has a lot of good things as well. I'm speaking on behalf of both of us, definitely. But we saw a lot of hatred, but we also saw such an amazing community here. And I think before coming here, we only hear in the news about, like, you know, how they took us to Hague to do the trial and all of that. So it's been very important for us to meet all of you. And also when you witness the people that are blindly hating us, it only makes our trip even more meaningful, and we're here for you, and we're sorry that you're going through all of that. But I have to say that, you know, radicals, they make the loudest, you know, comments and the hateful ones, and that's okay, that's who they are. But the majority is either, you know, silent or more saint, I don't know. And we're trying to speak to them as well. And, you know, things are never as bad as they seem. We just need to stay united and to have faith.
I have one more thing. In the first day, I got this, איך אומרים הורדתי? I took off this necklace because really I'm scared. Like people know that I'm from Israel and like this. And the first time, like I saw the Milette, and I saw her like turn around, like, and it's okay, and I asked her, like, you don't afraid that someone attack you or like this? And she answered me a good answer that I want she share with you. This is can invest me to do this and do everything. Don't scare anymore, because what they do in this day, like, we scare enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep saying that I was silent for hours under that bush, and I will never be silent again. And every place that will tell me to hide my identity, I will know that this is my time to speak louder.
So I think I have a question here from online, but I think you've kind of answered it. But if you want to add anything, it was really asking, you know, how do you get angry about the people who deny what happened on the 7th of October? So, and how do you manage that anger if you do? So
I think we have different answers for that.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's annoying because we have all the fact. We have videos, we have cameras of the terrorists, we have like things they themselves put on the internet, like how you can deny such thing. We have all of some pro-Palestine, it told me on the Instagram, מישהו הגיב לי, אני כבר עולה. I going on the level, not bad. Yeah, he told me why the IDF don't take the... הצבא לוקח את ה... לא נותן את המשאיות כאילו לאזרחים.
Why doesn't the
ושעושים להם ניתוחים בלי...
They're accusing the IDF of preventing them from receiving the aid and for like doing surgeries without what's the name when you okay, you know, thank you. Yeah, so I think it's more, for me it's more frustrating than, I don't really get angry because I don't see the point in that. It just gives me more motivation.
Thank you. Are there more questions from the audience here? There's one there, Reva, right at the back there. Right across the floor there.
You mentioned the fact that you were a community, but now after everything's happened, all the music goes, have they become more of the survivors, are they more of a closer community? Or has everyone kind of separated themselves and needed to heal in their own way?
Thank you. I think obviously we all went through different things, and some of the people are not in a condition to even speak to anyone or to do anything. But we are definitely functioning as a strong community. We had less than a week after amazing volunteers that created healing spaces for us. I can say that for me, this is what I did the first month. I came every single day to that place, and I can't, it's hard to say, but you feel in a way that they did murder you, even though we're here and we're grateful for that, but at the same time, you're not the same. And I can't really talk to anyone that I know. It's hard for me. I'm doing those events, but to speak with my family, I can't. But with other survivors, that is my safe place, and we can talk to each other, and we support each other. So definitely we are closer and stronger.
Ilan, there's a question there, son.
You'll go next. Thank you.
Thank you. So my son heard you speak yesterday at university at Wits, and he asked me to ask you how you feel about your trance music. Can you still listen to it again? Does it make you feel, you know?
Yeah, in the beginning, I don't listen to the music, to trance music, like a month. I love the trance music, like I want to make, like I want to study, to do, and all my life going to this party. I was in the Nova Festival 2 times, like this is the 3rd time, so I know that. So to be like far from the music was very hard to me 1 month, but it's very trigger for me. So in the moment I got friends again, so little bit is gone to in my ear, so I came back to listen. I go to the party again. I do things, how she say, after the Nova, good people do many things for us in Israel, also take us to a party and do to us like a festival, mini festival like this, only survivors. So it's very, do it good for the soul.
Thank you.
While Reva's walking, oh, sorry.
I have a different answer, but we can. I used to be a DJ. A surprise. I was a DJ and a party producer before. I was also planning on becoming a therapist. Yeah, I can't listen to that music now. For me, I couldn't listen to any music for at least a month, and then I started to listen to like very mellow music that is much different than the trance music. I think not just because it's a trigger for me, but also because I kind of don't want to stain it with this period of time. But I plan on listening to it in the future. I will dance again. It will just take me a bit longer.
The question was
how
did
we met.
they met?
So Milette sent me a message in Instagram, and she told me, "Hey Mazal, I was survivor too. I was I was the Nova too, and I participate in the crazy project VR movie, and ask her to find people who has a like crazy story, and that they can like do a message like this, להעביר מסר. So we meet there in the interview, and you.
Yeah. I was a crazy fan of Mazal. We did the same project of testimonies, and I saw her video, and I thought her story was incredible, not awful, but incredible. And for me, I started the next, like October 8th, I started to share the story. So I was very much involved in doing different projects to explain what happened. And I got to this really incredible VR movie. You know what VR is? Virtual reality, like the glasses. So they made the film in the Nova site. So they took us to the place we were hiding and all of that, and they filmed us there to give a like better explanation of what happened to the people that will see that. It will come out soon. So I reached out to her as a groupie, like, "Hi, Mazal," like she said. And she said yes, she was amazing. She agreed immediately. And so, yeah, we did that project, and we're doing more projects ever since.
That's lovely. I have a few questions from online which I'd really like to get to. So the one which I suppose fascinates all of us, it's an interestingly phrased question. And the question is, has your relationship with God changed since the 7th of October?
Oh, so my relationship with God is, I don't know what, not regular, I think, because I believe in Him like 100% all my life. Like I talk with Him and everything. My family is a religious family. I was in a school, religious school, when I was young. But when I grow up and like this, so I don't keep Shabbat, and I have tattoos. But I really trust him. I really like, because of that in the Nova, I don't like, it's not happening. Like God don't, is not happening, and I really, really believe them that I will get out from there. Yeah, I don't, it's not like I don't question about it. I only ask him when it's gonna be over, like this. After this thing, so I only say thank you, because my son have mom, I have son, 9 years old, and like only said thank you על זה שאני, for I'm here, and couldn't understand the people who like they believe on God like it are like I don't know if God exists, how this happened, but you can do it the same thing on the Holocaust. But I believe that God don't make people do something like He don't take you and make you do bad thing. I think God they give you direction and you take what you want to take. And if you believe, so He won't with you like and like this. So I believe. Thank you.
You want my answer as well? Okay. um, for me, it's complicated. I think, on the one hand, I think my story is incredible. Like, I had so many miracles, and I have such a strong case to say, how can you doubt for a second that there is God? And on the other hand, I have a very strong case not to believe in God, because first of all, it was a very obviously difficult day, but more than that, for me, it was when I came back home, I discovered that my cousin, he's 19 years old, he sent, like, my family got a message from me, and from him that morning, he said that he was shot and that he loves them as well. It took us a few days to figure out what's going on with him, and we actually discovered they posted a lot of pictures and video of what they did. So we saw a picture on Telegram of his body, like he's in his underwear and shot, and it took us a few more days to bury him because the cemeteries were so full. And the following week after that day, you have to choose which funerals to attend, and to go to funerals of young people, pure souls, it's another trauma. And for me, like, I know that my story, I can only say thank you, but I can't say that it's not a struggle for me to see such a young, beautiful soul being buried and to still have faith.
Got a few more questions. Thank you. So the one question is, how have you found integrating back with your family back into Israeli society who didn't exactly experience what you've experienced? You've been through a lot of trauma that they maybe don't understand. How have you found that?
With my family was like there was in Netivot, so the first week they could get out from the town because all the area was terrorist. They don't come to visit me, and my mom was devastated. When they come, the first thing that she do, this hug me, crying, and ask me like what I do to you. She asked me what I do to, and like now we live with the anxiety, very for me like they understand that the daughter almost murder or taken, don't left her. My son was with his father, so he was in the center. He don't know all this happened, but you know that I get from rockets רסיסים.
She wanted to protect her son, so what she told him was that she got injured by the ricochet of a rocket. He doesn't know that she went to the Nova Music Festival.
So very excited like, I don't know how to explain, because when I saw him and my parents, like, there was the day that I still processing, הכל מעורפל לי, כאילו, but זה היה נורא מרגש.
She's saying it was like all a blur because you're very traumatized, and she just buried two of her friends, and so it's a mixture, and it's hard to even recall the first few days for us.
We together, and they say thank you like me, like this.
So for me, I remember the phone call. When I got a phone, I called my brother, the one that I told you about, and just to like, throughout this entire time of hiding in the bush, I kept thinking about the moment I can hug my family again. And every time I thought about it, I had to stop because that would get me crying, because I thought it will never happen. And you can't cry because they will hear you. So just even talking with him, and to know that I can calm him down and deliver the good news that I'm okay, that was a really powerful moment. And then obviously he was my first hug as well. We cried a lot. And then hugging my mom and everyone. But definitely felt grateful, and I will never take it again for granted, the ability to hug my family. And I suggest you will all go back and hug your family. But like I said before, there is something that's happening to you when you experience that, and definitely after those few awful days of funerals, and I think my heart kind of shut down and I became pretty numb, and I still don't feel that I have completely returned. So the same way that I knew that day that I have to be strong and I need to be the sister that my siblings deserve, I still say that to myself to make sure that I have the power to go to a therapy over and over, even though it doesn't feel like it's helping so far. We understand that it's a long process, and I'm still waiting to get back to them fully and to really experience feelings again.
I'll
Karen,
take another question from the floor,
yeah,
and then
Karen,
we're probably
I
going to
must
wrap
tell
up.
you, it's amazing. Those two questions you've just answered were exactly the questions that this lovely couple here were going to ask.
Yeah, we have
So,
superpowers. This is how we
anything
survive.
else?
You definitely have superpowers, no question.
Isn't it nice that we have sense of humor?
And a fantastic sense of humor through everything. Amazing. So there was I'm going to then, while Reva's moving, I'm just going to ask you another question while we're waiting. I think we've got time for two. Can we do two more, Wendy? Okay. I'll do one quickly and then take one more there quickly. In your view, how has the relationship between Israeli Arabs and Israeli Jews changed or not changed in the post-October 7 period?
Whoa. So I was like the person, I think, they must love everybody. I was friend, like they all have the color, the I don't know, the religion. Aravim, Israel. I was living in Jerusalem 2 years. I have friends Arabic, like I never scared. I know that it was Arabic that hate us. I been in Shar Shechem in the market and was Arabic going with the car and like Yarak spit. Spit. Yeah. So like this, and you could keep going. But now I could not. When I saw Arabic, my heart like. I get a panic attack if he come close to me. If I saw him and I know that I can get far, okay. But like one time I'm go and I was people working in the ground and he talking the telephone in Arabic louder and I was like, my heart like, so it's very changed. And I'm very sorry about it because it's not me, it's not, I don't want to judge people about what they, because I know there are many good people, I know that, but I could recognize terrorists or no. So I feel sorry about Arabic that is good, that hurt about people like scared like me. But this is the situation.
Yeah, I actually feel exactly the same. I think it's such a shame, and one of the worst thing about that is that it caused so much hatred and it divides us, and we do not want that. Like, we want to live in peace. I have Arab friends, but it's trigger, and I wish it wasn't. I wish I could still be friends with them, but for me to listen to people speaking Arabic, it's unbearable, and I hope it will go away because we do want to live in peace, and I know that it's also awful for the Arab people in Israel now because like they don't deserve it, but that's the thing about terrorists, they ruin it for everyone.
Last question.
It's actually quite amazing because you've also just almost answered my question. Literally going to ask you, are you not, having seen such horror perpetrated by people who are of the Arab race, terrorists, you're now back in Israel living a normal life, do you not feel filled up with deep hatred for them as a people, for having that onslaught on your innocent people? Or have you been, I mean, I think you did answer.
Yeah, I think
It has been damaged.
I think, are you comfortable that you have answered it, or is there? I think.
Do you
I think
feel
it
that
has
there's
been
more you could add to
Thanks.
that?
Is there anything more you want to add?
The only thing I can say in addition, maybe is to regard the Palestinian people, not just the Arabs in Israel, is that, and this is, I'm saying that on behalf of both of us because she answered that in different places, so just know that this is her opinion as well. We feel like we should all be more united now against Hamas, because for us to see all the images about the Palestinian people now, we're devastated over that as well. It's very sad that the world now has been so divided that people think that empathy is something that is limited. You can have empathy towards any innocent civilians that are suffering, and I just hope that we can get there.
I think that's a really beautiful note to end on. So we're out of time. Sorry.
You can come in person.
Thank you. So, yeah, just before we end and I say a proper thank you, I want to say also that Milette and Mazal have been doing media since you got here, almost through the day. It has been such an important thing for us to get the story out. You saw for yourself in Cape Town how things are being misled, how people are being misled in South Africa, how the story's been twisted in South Africa. Wendy began this whole conversation about how the Gaza war started on October the 8th, and very much in this country, October the 7th is being denied. And to have you here, to have you, as difficult as I can see it is for you, and also know how difficult it is to do this media again and again and again and again and have to tell your story again and again and again. You have worked tirelessly. And I have to also give a huge thank you. It's not always easy getting media in this context. And Cherise Zeffert has worked like a superwoman to make sure that your story is covered and that we can get the story out. So thank you to Cherise.
Thank you, and we will also use the opportunity to say thank you to really everybody here that helped organizing this incredible thing. an honor for us, and we're really, truly happy and grateful for doing all of that. And I'm just moved by seeing this community and all the people that we met throughout this week. So.
Yeah. Yes, only say thank you, and like we need to be strong and keep going and win, and we do it. So thank you.
I'm going to end with a comment from somebody online because I think it captures everything that I would want to end with, so I'm going to quote her directly. Just to say that you ladies are so courageous, so brave, so generous with your pain, and trust that through the darkness your spirit gives us light. You've been set down such an inexplicable road, and yet your testimony further unites us and fills us with such pride, reminding us that life is so short and how the greatest gift of all is the gift of love and the light that shines through you both. May Hashem forever protect you and bless you.
Thank you.